Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. The fact that you are willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to consume my content really does mean the world to me. For those of you that are unaware, I review everything that gets released on Netflix. So if you are ever curious about whether a new movie, series or show is any good, come to my channel and I will let you know. And today we're going to be talking about worst roommates ever. So this series was actually recommended to me by my fiance who absolutely loves true crime. I was like, you know what? I love you. I'm going to watch this. I'll review it. And so this one's for you, Danny. But so I reviewed this series and I have to say for a true crime series, it's probably not up there with my favorites. What this series definitely does have going for it is it tells 4 unique stories about 4 different roommates. But it's split into 5 episodes, the final story taking part in 2 parts. And so you get a nice variety of stories and the crimes they take part in are quite varied. So from a true crime point of view, you get some very unique stories and the way they're told is quite engaging. The issue I have with true crime series like this that tackle different stories is you engage with one story so much that sometimes when you start the next episode, you kind of struggle to get back into it. It's kind of like watching American Horror Story when you've invested so much time into a specific season that when the next one starts, you really struggle to get invested into the new one. But that's how I felt a little bit with this series. I found myself struggling to re-engage myself after every episode. But not just that, I feel like some episodes were vastly more interesting than others. And so going from a more interesting episode to one that's less so can be rather difficult. But the core crux of this series is what kept me watching Worst Roommates Ever. And seeing how, the roommates of the worst roommates responded to them, because these were people who were murderers. These were people that were con artists. And what always chills me is they were like, well, how are we supposed to know? And that one really hit home because, and I'm going to get deep right now. At one point, I was living with 2 other guys. So, the 3 of us were living together. And I wouldn't necessarily call us roommates, but we stayed together for about a period of just under a year. And only a few weeks ago, I realized that the one of them was a rapist and a pedophile, a serial rapist and pedophile, and is now being arrested. And that shook me because I was like, I did not expect this at all. This was a person that I thought was really, really kind. And I almost looked up to, in fact, someone that I would easily call a friend, if not even a brother. And then finding out that this is the sort of stuff he was doing broke my heart. And again, much like the victims in this series, you don't realize it because people like this are so good at lying, at manipulating, at shifting the truth. And so that the series hit really close to home for me there, realizing that you are actually living with these people. The only thing separating you from them is an individual door while you sleep at night. And that aspect of the show really made it immersive for me. And there was this one scene, and I believe it was actually the first episode, where the serial murderer, she looks at the camera and she says, I wasn't always a bad person. And flip. That line shattered me because we as humans always have the capacity for kindness, for love, for treating each other with respect. And we have to make a conscious decision to go, cool, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a jerk. I'm going to be someone that's going to ruin your life. And the fact that she looked into the camera realizing that I used to be nice, I used to be a good person, but I chose this life. That's scary. Because it could happen to anyone. It could happen to anyone. Hey guys, I just want to take this opportunity to shout out the sponsor for this video, Weeblit. You may have noticed my own light here at the bottom of the screen. I have to say you're going to be getting great value for money here. So Weeblit, you can check out their Instagram profile. Tons and tons of anime lights that you can buy if you're an anime fan. But where I find myself enjoying this product the most is the fact that you can order custom lights. And that is in fact how I got my YouTube logo in light form. But also I was able to get an Optimus Prime, and I can speak to the value of these products because in fact I bought one for my fiance as well. So if you are looking for something that can feed your anime addiction, or you're looking for something unique and customized to you, then definitely go check out Weeblit. But on to the rest of the review. So yeah, for me, a lot of my enjoyment of this series came from how I was able to gauge how people who've been in similar situations reacted. Thankfully, none of this ever happened to me, so I'm not necessarily a victim, but it's the realization that this person you're living with is a monster that really stuck out to me. But again, from an actual filmmaking perspective, this series felt like a mixed bag to me. The definite positives and strengths of the series was the variety. And because of this variety, you learned a lot about these different cases. And the way that the law enforcement solved some of the cases was incredibly unique and interesting. And that is something I really, really enjoyed. But the massive cons of the series were the inability to kind of bring immersion from one episode to another, and to just sit down and binge watch everything. It gets a little bit tricky, gets a little bit difficult again when you've gone from a very interesting series that one is less so. Especially when you've gone from one episode that is incredibly interesting to one that is less so. But I would like to just end this review by saying, yes, I would recommend this to those of you who love true crime out there. This was a very interesting one. Was it the best true crime documentary on Netflix? I have to say I really don't think so, unfortunately, but it is a unique viewing experience. And one thing I did quite enjoy about this series was the cutaway to animations, so that when the stories are being told, we can visually see what is happening because you've got this traditional 2D animation that's busy taking place and depicting these scenes that of course can't be filmed. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this review. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again in another video. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video. I really do appreciate it. If you did and you want to watch more of my content, then quickly subscribe. But I want to let you know about the podcast that I'm busy running over on Zapcast's YouTube channel. If you are a content creator wanting to learn, then check out the ABCs of content creation. And if you are a nerd like me, check out the weekly Fundamentals.